guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Now today guys, I'm going to be repotting my Crassula ovata variegata, commonly known as the money or the jade plant. And this gorgeous variegated succulent plant here is extra special because it has lovely variegation in the leaves. The more commonly seen jade money plant usually is all green, but this is lovely variegata form, which is absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, it's pretty much top heavy, needing to be repotted. So I'm going to be potting on in this video into this lovely pot here, which I think is very lovely. This ceramic pot, very lovely with the coloration of this succulent here. Now, I have made a lot of videos on how to repot cacti and succulents, so links up above to a playlist on many different types of cacti and succulents and how I repot them. So this isn't necessarily a how-to video. This is just me repotting this particular plant and showing you how I do it. Now, before I go any further, I want to give a big thumbs up to my wonderful fiancé Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today. So if you're not familiar with Hansi, do go over and subscribe to his amazing YouTube channel, Family of Cactusy and Other Beauties. Links up above.
Thank you.
So thank you, Hansi. And it means I've got my hands free, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing here instead of having to have the camera just fixed. So this is great. Now, what I like to do is I like to make my own cactus and succulent soil mix myself. Not only is it far more economical, but I like to know what is exactly going into the soil mix. And what I like to use is 3 equal parts of a loam-based soil, horticultural grit, and also horticultural sand, and also horticultural grit. Or if I can't get grit, I'll use perlite, but I use 3 equal parts. Now, I've made a video on how I make my own cactus and succulent soil, so please do go over and watch that video if you want to know how I make my own soil and how you can save a fortune on buying commercial cactus and succulent soil mixes, because they're very expensive. And also, I bought soil mixes in the past where I've opened the bag and there's been flies in there and just pieces of stones and bark, and it's just horrible. So this, as you can see, is pretty pure. All it is just horticultural grit, sand and loam, and that's it. But you can use, what is most important is you use whatever soil you like to use that is well draining. Hansi will prefer to use more peat and sand, but it really doesn't matter. Just make sure that the soil dries out in between waterings. This is just my personal mix that I like to use, but as long as it's well draining, that's the most important. And Here we go, next to pot on then. Now, gently when it comes to repotting, this is easy because it's a plastic pot. So if it was a clay pot and it's difficult to come out, sometimes you have to damage the pot or just to get the roots out, the plant out without damaging the roots. But this one is easy enough, so gently squeezing. There you go. So what I'm going to be doing here is gently putting some soil in the bottom and then gently placing that in there. Now this, ideally, I have to be honest with you, this pot is quite small. I would normally, if I had just a plastic pot, put it a little bit bigger than this, but I actually think this pot is so lovely for this particular plant. I might get a few months out of it before I have to repot it again. But the most important thing is that there's fresh soil going in here, and I'm potting it up to the next size up. So that's great. Maybe take these extra stones out. Hans is doing a great job filming me there. Fantastic. Now, I have made a video on how to propagate the jade plant. If you haven't seen that video, then please do check it out. If you have these plants, very common plant to grow in cultivation, then do check the video out on how to propagate the money plant, jade, Crassula ovata. And I've also made a video on the different types of Crassula ovata jade plants, anyway, not necessarily Crassula ovata, but Crassulas, that I have in my collection, in our collection I should say. So do watch that video if you haven't seen that. So links up above to both of them videos, both on how to propagate Crassula ovata and also the different types of Crassulas I have in my collection as well. If you want to know, if you want to watch that, there you go, easy peasy. Now what I prefer to do is I prefer to leave it probably a few days before I start to water again. The reason being is that when it comes to repotting cacti and succulents, it's almost inevitable you're not going to do some root damage. I think I've been very, very careful, as you've seen me potting this. I don't think there's any real root damage at all. Probably be okay to just go ahead and water, but I just prefer to leave it probably for about a week before I water again. This is again my personal choice. Some people repot succulents and just water straight away. And obviously it depends on the time of year. It's sort of late summer here, so you know it's fine with the watering aspect. But if this was winter, I wouldn't water it at all now, probably until the springtime, until it starts coming to growth again. But because it is sort of late summer, I'll leave this probably for about 5 days, probably a week at the most, and then start to introduce a bit more water again. But doesn't it look gorgeous, guys? Look at that. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're new to succulents and cacti and you want to know a little bit more about growing them, or you just want to have a look at my website, do please check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com, and hover your mouse over the growing tips drop down bar and lots of different sections on how to care for your cacti and succulents. And we're putting a lot more blogs on there coming up in the next few weeks. When I get time, on how to care for different types of cacti and succulents. So do stay tuned, guys. And thank you all so much for your support. And thank you, Hansi, for filming me. So guys, I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video,